Well, football players do have a higher rate of injury than other professional athletes. This season alone, player injuries have cost the NFL more than $500 million. One entrepreneur trying to reduce that number with prevention technology is John Malloy. He's an investor and general partner at Blue Run Ventures. Stephen Smith with us as head of product at Kitman Labs. Welcome to you both. Stephen, I want to start with you. We have wearable devices. 20% of Americans have them. You've created something that helps reduce injury for professional athletes. How is that?
Hi Deirdre, thank you very much for having us. So essentially what we're trying to do is gather data across multiples of points in sports, analyze that data and hold it alongside each other, and then use that information to impact decisions for backroom staff and to allow them to reduce the risk of injury and to keep their athletes on the field and to help them to optimize for performance.
Okay, so that makes sense. John, from an investor's point of view, how did you know this was the right company to back?
Well, first and foremost, it's always the people, and so the founders of the company are really the first reason. But you know, there's a convergence in trends here that had me very excited. So it's not news to consumers that the mobile world is now radically changing. Changing the way we interact with the physical world, and sensors are adding lots and lots of data. And so, what do we do with that data? And what really surprised me was when I got to know Stephen, and we started looking at the opportunity. There's a transformation that's actually happening in professional sports where almost every professional sport is now very deep into data analytics. It started with baseball, but literally every sport is trying to quantify performance, and now the next, the big frontier is actually starting to use Kitman to be able to prevent injury, which is a major issue in every sport.
So, Stephen, I know one thing is that there are training variables that just statistically show it places an athlete at higher risk of injury. So you are tracking those, and then the athletes wear something on their physical body so that if they're doing something, they get a message. How does it work?
Yeah, so our system aggregates multiple data points. So it's data from sensors and wearables that you see guys wearing every week in sports. We take in performance data from other feeds and companies. We take in biometric data. We take in personal data from athletes, and we take information from them on a daily basis. We take in biomechanical information, and all of the risk factors that we're taking in have already been researched and verified as isolated risk factors for injury. And essentially what we're doing now is actually trying to show the relationship between all of these different data points from different areas. And in sports at the moment, this data is collected, but it's siloed. So coaches keep data from wearables in one place, and they keep data from athletes' health in one place and medical information in another place. And this means that none of this data can talk to each other, and the relationships that relate to injury are very, very hard to find. So essentially what our platform does is it brings all of that together, and we're taking all of that data, and then we're able to show the relationships and how that actually implicates towards injury and how that causes injury in athletes. And then we can turn that information into actions and actionable pieces of information for those coaches to actually reduce that risk and to keep their athletes on the field.
Okay, so essentially it's big data as a first step and then analysis as a second step so that people can actually use the information to do something with it. As an investor, John, what are your goals for this company?
Always it's to build a company that makes a difference, and I think that we can improve performance for all the teams that we work with, all the leagues we work with. But more importantly, I actually think this is just the beginning of a major shift. This is equally applicable to regular people. In fact, consumers already take for granted how they can use their mobile phone to improve their own health, their own performance. Today it's professional sports, but this kind of trend in really being in tune with what your performance is and how your body is reacting to your exercise, that's important for everybody.
Right.
And so this is just the beginning, but pro sports is a great place to start.
All right, so professional athletes today, the rest of us tomorrow. Thank you very much for the time. Stephen Smith at Kitman Labs, John Malloy, Blue Run Ventures. We have a quick